Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I got my beautiful new IEMs. Ooh, I'm excited to talk about those things in the future, and I'm very excited to talk about that thing in the future. It was a very green mail day the other day. But speaking of Machinewise, while I am very, very happy with Machinewise, obviously, I wanted to finally talk about the decision that they decided to reveal a few weeks back at this point. I have taken a few weeks to talk about this for a number of reasons that I'll get into in the video. But I quickly just want to state before we get into this that this is a very controversial topic, to say the least. I am not part of Machinewise. I am not a business owner. I'm not anywhere near able to understand what goes on behind a decision like this. So I'm not here to rail on Machinewise. I'm not here to make them feel worse about something that they've already done. I'm not here to encourage people to go like mob them and tell them, because they've been dealing with a lot of stuff lately that they just quite frankly don't deserve to deal with. So just with this whole announcement. So I'm not going to add to that. I am simply here to give my opinion on a, quite frankly, community-changing announcement that affects my standout favorite brand that I've been shilling for the past year and a half. So this is just me trying to share my opinions. I'm not pretending to understand why they made this decision. I'm not trying to pretend like I know better. Just sharing my opinion. So, in case you're living under a rock, Machinewise announced about 2 weeks ago at this point that they would be discontinuing most of their lineup in favor of some new Balisongs, the Totori and the Sasori. So going away is the Prysma V1, the Prysma Pro, and the Slift T, which includes some of my favorite Balisongs of all time. The Slift T was, spoilers, my favorite live blade, and the Prysma Pro remains one of my favorite trainers. So to see both of them go at the same time, something that I like half predicted in the last podcast episode I did with Brandon, is really, really sad. And another reason that I took so long to film this video is that announcement hit me hard. The day that they announced that was kind of a day where I felt like, man, this kind of killed a lot of my excitement for the Balisong hobby. Like, genuinely. Like, I walked around, I was like, man, this announcement really killed a lot of my excitement for the Balisong hobby. And I didn't want to talk about the decision publicly until I kind of worked through those feelings. Because I was able to look at myself and go, that's kind of an extreme reaction, all things considered, for what this announcement really is. So maybe we spend a few days to work through that and kind of figure out why I feel that way. Maybe if there's something that I need to change, ask myself a few tough questions. Do I want to keep doing this? And I was able to resolve all that, and now I feel much better about the announcement. But the initial like wave of, wow, this is happening, this hobby, it kind of felt like, it was one of the first times that I felt like the hobby was truly actually going downhill. I know I've been a proponent in the past of like, no, the Balisong community, the Balisong community isn't dying as a lot of people say it does, but lately it's been really tough to defend that point. I wouldn't say it's been dying per se, but it's definitely been experiencing a decline, especially from the crazy highs that it had in 2021. But the Machinewise announcement was enough for me to look and go, man, maybe this kind of is going downhill a little bit, which I think was part of the reason that I felt as strongly as I did about it. But regardless, I've worked through all that now. We're back. I know the timing of that seems weird considering the Seraph just came in, but this is something that I had figured out for myself before the Seraph came in. So it's not like he just feels that way because of the Seraph, and now when the Seraph newness wears off, he's going to quit. No, don't worry. I'm here. But this announcement was a rough one. So not only are we losing three of some of the greatest value propositions in this hobby, something that myself, Will, smaller reviewers, bigger reviewers have been recommending for so long. Like the Prysma Pro, man, it was such a high recommendation point. Same with the Slift T, same with the Prysma V1. I mean, hell, the Prysma V1 and the Prysma Pro are back-to-back Balisong of the Year winners. So to see them go away and no longer be affecting the price point that they're in is tough, like genuinely. And I think part of the reason that the community took this so poorly is because what we're losing or what we're gaining doesn't really make up for what we're losing to a lot of people. That's at least how personally I feel. The Sasori and the Totori don't really feel like Machinewise products to me, specifically in the fact that they are short. They showed like a product lineup, and it seemed kind of like they were almost Orion based. And I think one of the things that Machinewise is really known for is the length of their balisongs. Obviously, Machinewise is known for many other things: their tolerances, their value, how well they're machined, how well they're made, stuff like that. The incredible swing they're able to get, the value of their knives, the customization system. But the problem is with this announcement, a lot of that is going away. Not only do we lose the value proposition of these balisongs, and it does remain to be seen where these new balisongs will slot in the price bracket. But looking at them, I'm willing to hazard a guess that they won't be as cheap as the things that they're replacing, like the Slift T and the Prysma Pro. I don't know that for sure. That's just me wildly speculating. But I think there's a chance we might lose kind of the value proposition that Machinewise once offered. We're definitely losing the length that they're kind of known for, with that error that Dalen made measuring from the middle of the pivots instead of the end of the pivots, or however that story goes. And we're also losing the customization system, something that I believe to be one of the most innovative and exciting things that the balisong community has seen, possibly since even Squid revealed the Squid Trainer and the Kraken as the first like aluminum balisongs. I genuinely think the customization system was that cool to have that level of customization in metal balisongs. But also the Marin platform, the interchangeability is also going away because they didn't want to limit themselves to a single platform, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because they're just moving on to a different platform. So like, what's stopping them from just doing the same thing in 2 years? Oh, hey, this new platform is limiting us. That's kind of what I'm worried about, especially because, like they're getting rid of this platform because they don't want to be limited by it, but then they're just moving straight to another platform. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Once again, I'm not going to pretend to know the answer to that. I have talked to someone at Machinewise who said that the new platform is different in some way that should help them, or maybe I don't know. It's a whole bunch of speculation, honestly, at this point, until they reveal something more concrete. But yeah, like the new designs just aren't doing it for me. Replacing some of my favorite balisongs ever is really disappointing. Replacing one of the coolest concepts, because whether or not the customization system comes back, the truth of the matter is right now it's been reset, so it effectively doesn't exist. Because even if the customizer comes back, we can only switch a trainer blade onto the titanium handles and the live blade onto the aluminum handles, which isn't nearly as cool as what we had before with all of the, cool blades and different combinations that you could do. And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to is I think the community, rightly so, does feel a little burned that they had these toys to play with and it's been taken away from them. It's never a fun thing to have to take away someone's toys. But I also think that Machinewise is getting the short end of the stick with people blaming them for it, because at the end of the day, they still need to create what they want to create. They still need to be able to operate a business. I have my suspicions. Again, this is just me wildly speculating, but I feel like the Sonora has a huge part of this, considering just how successful that has been relative to the actual, relative decline of the balisong hobby lately. Again, just speculation. That's just me talking out of my ass, but that's just how it goes. That's how business is. So, they have to run their business. That's okay. I understand. But I think we really did lose something pretty special with the Marin platform, the Prysma Pro, the Slift T. There was a lot of stuff there. And sure, I'm probably just saying that because these are some of my favorite balisongs of all time. But I also do think that they offered something that no one else truly did at their price point, which was good, ridiculously high quality, well QC'd, American made balisongs, which is important to a lot of people. And just one of the best balisong companies, if you ask me. Like, I'm not affiliated with Machinewise in any way. I have paid for all of my Machinewise products except for the Serif, but the Serif wasn't given to me by Machinewise. So, like, no financial affiliation or anything like that. They've just been my favorite. They consistently make my favorite products. So to see essentially most of their lineup get Thanos snapped away it's a little sad. Especially since I am definitely not as excited, like I said, for the new things that are going to be replacing everything. I don't really see myself being interested in the Sasori or the Tottori, to be honest. But, you know, I would be a little bit weak to say how much I love Machinewise and then just hop off the train as soon as they make a decision that I'm like, I'm not really excited for that. So I do have faith that these new balisongs will flip regardless of what I think they look like. I think they will, I hope at least. I have faith that they will flip well, but I guess only time will tell. I think it's going to be a really huge blow if these things come out and they are even just comparable to the Prysma Pro. Unless it's the same price, which I don't know. I don't know if it will be. Did I speculate about that already? I don't know. My guess, just in case I didn't, this is the second time recording this video, so I'm kind of scrambled on what I've already said and what I haven't. My guess is that they won't, looking at the designs and looking what probably goes into making them, they probably won't be as cheap as what they're replacing, but you never know. That's not something that I can really say before we get the official price announcement and all of that. We also don't have a drop date, which is a little sad. So Machinewise, as of right now, doesn't really make anything besides serifs and sonoras. They did do a drop of Prysma Pros like a week ago, maybe less, but I think that's the last Prysma Pro drop that will ever happen. And they did say they will still be releasing Prysma V1s while they still have supplies, but that will dry up eventually. So if you want your chance to get a Prysma Pro, now is really the time. Because these guys are going the way of the Marin. And it's really sad. I mean, maybe this will be a situation just like the Marin, where everyone misses the Marin, but then people in the future realize that their new products are just better. I don't know, though. If they were the same dimensions, I would feel like that would be a good guess, but it's the dimensions that I'm really stuck on. The smaller balisongs just don't do it for me anymore. I don't really like the smaller balisongs. The Hydro's out and the Gaboon, and it's like, I know the Sasori and the Tottori probably aren't that small, but still. They've kind of wearied me on smaller balisong designs like that. So anyway, as I've dropped my Prysma for the 19th time, I think that about does it. Kind of rambling now at this point. It's a decision that I respect at the end of the day, but makes me a little bit nervous going forward. And just sad to be in a hobby without two of my biggest recommendations on the market. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure Machinewise will end up coming out on top like they always do. I got a lot of faith in the guys over there. So, yeah, it's my opinions on the Machinewise announcement. Thank you all for watching. Again, please don't send any crazy hate their way. I'm sure they've already dealt with enough of it because of how this community is. And I will see you in the next one. Later.